What's up, weirdos, and welcome to the Weirdoverse. I am your host, JD Ross, and you are tuned into Weird Wide, your favorite digital cult. We're hitting you again today, another in our ongoing series on Unhinged Movies, and I have with me again, as always on the Unhinged Movie series, please welcome the Ghost. Ghost, welcome to the show.
Dude, I am still trying to process the last 90 minutes that we just watched, so thank you for having me, but man, let me tell you, I don't even know what to say.
Dude, 100%. I am very much with you on that. So, to get everyone caught up on what the last 90 minutes of our lives looked like. So as cinephiles, I would say it's fair to say you and I are cinephiles.
At 34 plus years on this planet, yeah, I'll give it that.
Yeah, 100%. So
Right.
we had never actually seen a movie that kind of circles around the cult classic vibes called Eraserhead.
Yes.
And we decided we were going to do an Unhinged Movies on. We decided it's you know what, we're going to watch it. We're going to see what it's all about. So we watched it together literally just moments ago. Holy fuck. What the fuck did I just watch?
You know, that holy fuck is an understatement. I mean, this movie immediately starts, and we'll get into the more detailed on what we watched. But I've just a little background of how I've known about this. I've been on the internet since early 2000s.
Yeah.
This movie's always circled around the film community. Everybody, I need to watch this. This is a weird fucking movie. This is more than Unhinged. This is on another level. Like, what is this? People are still asking today. This movie came out in 1977.
Yeah.
And people are still asking, well, what is it? We have our own theories. I have two of them. I know you have two of them.
I've got theories. Yep.
But Eraserhead is a movie that is definitely A+ for uniqueness, man.
I'll give it that. However, I am going to state that if I ever meet anybody and they say to me, "Hey man, Eraserhead is my favorite movie," no, I'm immediately calling the fucking FBI, dude. Like, somebody that is unsafe. Somebody
Literally.
needs to be fucking checked, and I'm not dealing with it. Like, I'm not safe around this person. So if Eraserhead is your favorite movie, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, you get that phone call. What's your favorite movie? I like Eraser. Nah, you know what? No, man. I'm gonna call the authorities because I want nothing to do with you.
Nothing at
You
all.
ain't staying in my house. Get a hotel.
No, you ain't sleeping in my house. No, absolutely
You're not.
All right, so let's get into like what the actual movie is. So David Lynch directs it. I think David Lynch, like, I don't know.
He did it at all.
Yeah, he did it all. I know the name, but I don't really know much that he's done. But it's a surrealist horror something.
Psychological drama?
Drama,
Surreal
maybe?
horror, psychological drama, maybe?
Yeah. So
Because funny, I just learned of this term, this genre, psychological drama, just recently, and I am a genre fanatic, which threw me off guard when I didn't know about that. But I feel like this could be part of that. Disturbing, unhinged, depressing.
Very
sadness.
Depressing, yeah. Like if you've seen The Office, that Halloween episode where Gabe decided to do the cinema of the unsettling, it's all like that. It's all very unsettling.
Immensely, man. And this Lynch nailed the surreal, whatever you want to call this. It's like, really, it's like your own interpretation. Every shot was something else, and we both sat there like, what are we watching?
A lot of jaw drops. So it centers around this guy, and you've all seen the cover where the guy making the fucking face, and he's got the giant hair. This guy, Henry Spencer?
Henry Spencer, right?
Yeah. It centers around Henry, and he seems to be living in, I interpreted it as post-apocalyptic almost, is the vibe I got.
It felt like that, but I think that was just the unhinged aspect that Lynch wanted to hit. I was gonna say after World War II, somewhere in England, maybe. We don't know, but he didn't have an English accent. But I'm just saying, somewhere fucked up.
Somewhere post-war.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically he goes and like meets his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. They have this whole fucking, it's all awkward. Like, everything in it is awkward. Like, every interaction that he has, like they don't seem very intimate. Like, she's basically just staring out the door. Like, And he's like, you haven't come over for a while.
Like,
She's
where
like,
you been?
dinner's almost ready. And it's like this very, and like, even like when he was meeting the parents, everything was really awkward. You notice that too?
I
Yeah.
did. And not, it wasn't just, it was more than awkward. It was more, yeah, you're invited, but we really don't want you here. That kind
Yeah.
of vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Like,
That,
yeah, you can come in, but I'm not happy about it.
literally.
And I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna show, I can't help but show that a little bit.
Right. Like, you don't know anything about this
You know
character,
nothing.
by
Yeah,
the
at this
way.
point,
Nothing.
they've let nothing slip about what is going on, where they are, who they are. All you know is they seem to have a connection, her and Henry.
And that is about 15 minutes, I want to say, into the movie
Yeah.
after he meets. Because the first 15 minutes, I mean, the first shot of the film is just his face and
Mhm.
this orb meteor looking thing fading in and
Yeah.
out between him and these two shots going in and out.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about this person, who he is,
Nothing.
what he does. You don't even know his name until he gets to her parents' house. Oh,
Yeah.
Henry. Okay, Henry is his
Oh, that's
fucking
Henry. Yeah.
cool.
Well, okay, so then there's the whole like so everything, like I said, everything is surreal. So like he has
Mhm.
dinner with with the family. All the shots are very off-putting, and then there's like this whole sequence with the chicken. Actually, Ghost
Yeah,
Ghost actually sent me this as a YouTube clip at one point before
literally.
we even saw the movie. He was like, just type in Eraserhead chicken dinner, and it's this whole thing where like they're all sitting at the dinner table and like Henry's sitting there with his fucking pocket protector and fucking nerdy as shit looking, and they're like, go ahead and cut these little chickens. They're like tiny
They're
chickens.
like quails, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like quails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he cuts into it and the fucking chicken starts dancing and like oozing all
literally.
this shit. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like blood coming out of its fucking poop hole. I swear to God.
Yeah,
It's very disturbing, friends.
very
Not
disturbing.
gonna lie, this is
Yeah.
a fucked up movie, more than Unhinged.
Yeah. So then you got like this going on while like the dad is sitting there just like giving him this weird grin. And it's like, I don't, it's just like really awkward grin. Like, okay, I interpreted this scene because this is when like the mom then like kind of freaks out, gets up and runs away from the
Yeah,
table. I
right.
kind of interpreted this as like David Lynch had like a bad experience with in-laws or like a girlfriend's parents or something like that.
At a dinner table, that's
Yeah.
where I got this feeling from as well.
Yeah.
This sequence, just to add, is where I got the feeling of there's some kind of mental health issues going on here.
Yes.
And this is the start of that. And that is my first theory. And I want to just point that out here. My first theory is that think that this is some kind of mental health issues between everybody. Every person.
Everybody, like, I think specifically Henry. I think Henry is the one who's
Right.
like, as the protagonist, he's kind of, it's like you're seeing the world through his eyes. We'll get into it a little bit more detail,
We
but
will.
that's kind of the vibe that I was getting to, is like, it's where I started to have that vibe. So the narrative is moved forward at this point because the mom then corners him in a closet or some shit,
Yeah.
and is like, have you had sexual intercourse with Mary? Mary being was it Mary? Yeah, it was Mary.
Is,
right?
is it Mary? Whatever the girlfriend's name
I think it
is.
was Mary. Yeah,
She's forgettable.
they're all forgettable in a weird way, except for
Henry.
Yeah. So like she's like, have you had sexual intercourse? And he's like all fucking awkward. Like, who the fuck? Okay, like honestly though,
I don't know.
You met your girlfriend's parents for the first time? Because it seemed like they met for the first time then.
This is the first time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what would you do if like your girlfriend's fucking parents were like, have you had sexual intercourse with my daughter? Have you had sexual intercourse with my daughter?
Bro, it ain't even just that. Imagine going first day. Okay, just imagine you and your wife, all right?
Yeah.
First day at her parents' house, all right? First day. And you get your neck sucked by your future mother-in-law.
Yeah, because that's the next part. She starts fucking, like, when he doesn't answer, she moves in and starts making a fucking move on him.
Literally, it's like
very awkwardly, very
awkwardly.
Like it wasn't even sexy because he's like, Mary, like, it's like, get your mom, get your mother.
Yeah, if you ever seen Drag Me to Hell, the part where she gnaws on her fucking chin with her mouth, that's what this felt like.
Yeah.
Very awkward, like disturbing.
Yeah. But see,
like,
then from there, like, it's kind of revealed that there's a baby and the baby was born premature. And it was kind of one of those things where Henry was even like, it hasn't been long enough. Like, it's like, we just fucked. Like, what the fuck? And they were like, well, it's premature. It was like, premature. Like, he's made, like, ugh. But like another disturbing thing is the way time moves
Oh yeah.
in this movie, because like they don't really let you know that time has moved. They
Right.
just move to the next scene, and you kind of find out that like, because he was like, the mother-in-law was like you're gonna marry, when you two are married, all this different shit. So like it's implied that they're married in the next scene.
Literally, it's implied it's very, very quick. She's just 1 second saying, when y'all get married, you're gonna take care of this child.
Yeah, it just immediately, without any kind of like letting you know about what the transition was, immediately goes into Mary is in a room, and you can't really quite tell at first, but she's taking care of something.
And it's on the table.
Mhm.
And this is the moment you witness this baby thing, whatever. I'm gonna call it E.T. Junior throughout this whole thing. It's E.T.
I was
E.T.'s
catching more Xenomorph vibes, like
and that's I can see
the
that,
dome
but
head, the dome head, yeah,
the dome head is very E.T.
yeah.
You know
So
it.
it's, from what we can tell, that's the baby. That's the
Right.
baby, and it's severely deformed. Like I said, it looks like E.T. It looks like an alien. It definitely has alien vibes.
Yes, it's wrapped in this gauze as well, like its whole
Yeah.
body, just the neck and the head hanging out, and it's just doing this this whole fucking time. The whole time,
Yeah.
it's just doing this. I'm like, what is she feeding this fucking thing?
Well, like, and that's another thing is like, we talked about this when we were watching it. There isn't really much of a soundtrack or a score.
No.
It's a lot of like sound effects and like
Yes.
that kind of, and so it's like it adds this different level, and then you've got kind of got this like ongoing like weird baby noise throughout the entire,
Right.
every time it's in the room. And she's like force feeding it fucking like baby food and shit like that. And it's just like, it's so off-putting. But then
It's
they're
unsettling
like,
as hell.
yeah.
It is. And I'm glad you said that, because the sound effects are molded around the baby screeching, and it's
Mhm.
different pitches of it. And the sound effects in this movie, friends, is incredible.
Yeah.
I will give it that. For 77, Lynch went all out. He's like, you know what? If I have anything that's good out of this, I will make sure that the sound is great. And the sound is really good here.
I mean, the shots were really good too, because the entire time, like obviously we're not able to like really show all the stuff that's going on because there's just so much going on. But there's like piles of dirt in his thing, and the entire time he's like, the radiator's turning on, and he's like weirdly peering into the radiator, and like just like all this shit going on. So like I would say the visual effects are pretty good too. Like it's definitely something to be proud of for what it was.
The when we noticed the dirt, we thought it was like hair, or maybe like a long cut grass or wheat or something. But what threw me off was, and you didn't even notice it until about 50 minutes into the movie. My wife noticed it. The picture of the mushroom cloud. Like, why would you have a picture of a nuclear bomb going off in the middle of your living room?
Yeah. Well, and that led me to kind of one of my kind of semi theories, at least for an idea, is like that's another reason that I got kind of post-apocalyptic vibes. Like, is this post-nuclear? Is this a situation where the baby is deformed because of radiation poisoning?
That is a good theory. Holy shit. Is that one of your theories?
That's a mini theory I'm playing with. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, having just watched it once, I feel like
it's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually just a vibe I got.
Pretty good. I didn't even realize that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're going with the whole post-apocalyptic, I'll tell you my second theory at the end. There's another one that most of the internet is even agreeing with.
Okay.
And my wife even mentioned it, so I'll mention it at the end.
Sounds good. Yeah, save that for the end, because I got a couple theories. I'm gonna wait to reveal like my full-on theories until the end. Yeah. So then you got like this intersparse situation. And the entire time, again, there's like these weird little umbilical cord monster things. Which it was funny because you pointed out, you were like, I bet you this shit's gonna be aliens. It's gonna be one of your theories, which
dude
is on brand for me. So
I mean, come on, the alien baby, the alien umbilical cords, the fucking, I mean, there's a whole nother world inside his radiator in his apartment.
Yeah, with this chick with like looks like a scrotum sacs hanging from her chin.
Disturbing as fuck.
Yeah, and she's just singing. Like the singing she did was freaking me out, dude.
Literally,
like she's like staring at the camera, and she's like, it's like she looks like she's like I guess almost pinup style, very 50s like housewife style, but like also deformed, and she's just
Right.
staring with this like grin, and she's singing. She's like, "In heaven, everything will be fine in heaven," and I'm like, Jesus.
Immensely disturbing. And I know people are gonna say it went nowhere. It doesn't have to be. This is supposed to be your own interpretation of what this man is going through. This is
Well,
all in his
it
head.
did go a little. It did go somewhere a little bit, I would say, because like like then the wife gets freaked. What's her name? Mary like gets freaked out. Like
Yeah.
she clearly is like having this like crisis of like I love the baby because I feel like I'm supposed to, but I
Hmm.
hate the baby. Like
Oh
that's the
yeah.
vibe I'm getting. Like she hates the baby for sure. And so like, she's like trying to sleep and then like she freaks out, starts yelling at the baby, shut up, like because it just won't stop making noise. And
Literally.
so then she leaves. So there's like that narrative of like his relationship with her. And then there's randomly like the girl across the street or across the hall who is like from the very start, like even before we meet Mary, actually, she's like standing there and she's got like cleavage hanging out and she's sort of just staring at him, like a lot of fuck me eyes going on, like
And immense.
yeah. And then like she then for some reason ends up with Henry and they get together and the bed transforms into it looked like a
Into a hot
primordial
tub.
hot tub.
Yeah,
Yeah.
primordial hot tub is a really good term for
Yeah.
that. It was a hot tub thing, and they started sinking slowly. I mean,
Yeah.
we called her what, Tits McGee, and it's
Tits McGee, yeah, because she's just got her
hilarious.
tits out, like Adam, like like it's like making it very obvious she wants a piece. Which
Do it to me, baby.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there's
And
like the whole thing where like another guy shows up later that he sees, and he I guess he's fallen in love with Tits McGee.
that's the vibe that I got from the shot.
Yeah,
Because it kept going back and forth. I mean, friends, you have to understand there's visuals nonstop, left and right.
yeah.
You were getting bombarded with different things, and there is no
Visual
coherent story.
overload.
Visual overload from hell. And there isn't like a coherent story here per se. I don't want to say that there is a story, but there is definitely a gentleman that is fighting with some kind of schizophrenia where he
Yeah.
has vision. He has hallucinations left and right, man.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah,
And that's where I'm thinking that this is with the mental health to add to it.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think once he got the baby, his shit triggered even more. The radiator started talking to him with this
Right.
deformed chick.
Yeah.
Umbilical cords falling. And
Yeah.
she's stomping on them. Like, what is happening here?
And then
But-
there's this whole sequence where he's like watching the radiator chick, the one with the deformity on her face,
Right.
and like his head gets popped off and is replaced by the baby's head.
That's what I was about to fucking say. Can we bring up the craziest hallucination,
Yes.
which is this? Yeah, he's actually a JD. That's absolutely perfect. The girl's singing this creepy song.
Yeah.
Just
On like an
sing it-
old-timey stage, like a vaudeville looking stage.
Sing that shit. Sing it again. What does he do?
In heaven, everything will be fine.
That's literally what
In
she.
heaven. She even had that like kind of southern accent with her
Yeah,
voice.
literally.
In heaven. Creepy as shit.
Very creepy. Now
Yeah.
imagine hearing that, and Henry is in the back, just behind this curtain thing.
Yeah.
And his head pops off, and the baby's head comes out.
Yeah. And then his head's just laying there while like blood fills up on the stage.
The room. Yeah.
And then the head falls into the puddle, like the puddle, I guess, like was big enough, and it falls, and then it falls into the city. And I'm like, what the fuck? It falls into
Falls
the
into
city.
a city. Yes, falls into a city, and a kid picks it up, takes it to a guy.
Yeah.
We're not kidding here, friends. This is literally
This is
verbatim.
literally
the scene.
what's going on.
Picks
Yeah.
up the head, goes to the guy. Guy said, yeah, perfect. Let's go in there. And
Yeah.
they go into this room. And do you want to set up what happened in this room with
Yeah,
his
yeah.
head?
So they're sitting there with this guy, and they definitely seem like they know what they're doing. I wasn't sure. That might have been Bill. That might have been the dad from earlier. But
It might have been. I think
yeah,
it was.
I don't know. I was so overwhelmed at that point. That it was just like,
This is
I don't know.
50 minutes in now.
Yeah, this is like 50 minutes in. So like the guy who's like in charge picks it up and like drills a hole in the head, and they put it in this machine, and it starts making all these little sticks. And we're like, what the fuck are they making?
Literally.
Like,
Looked like cigarettes.
that's what I thought. Yeah, well, we thought they were cigarettes at first, and it turned out they were erasers.
Yeah.
And
Eraser
then-
heads,
Yeah,
actually.
heads of erasers. He like pencils. He sharpens
Yeah.
a pencil, makes a mark, erases it, and makes sure it works. And then he's like,
Works
good.
perfect.
Then they give the
Yeah.
kid money, and the kid and I'm like, what the fuck?
Literally. I mean, it is the most bizarre shit. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
The Room and Birdemic was fucking weird.
Yeah.
At least this is a competent film. I'm not comparing this
Right.
at all to those two there. This is
Right.
not a bad movie, friends. We're not saying it. It's just, what did we just
Weird.
watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then like there was a part that like when he flicked away the eraser dust, that kind of had like when I saw that, I was immediately just like, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. That's what I was thinking when they did that, which I mean that kind of seemed like it tracked because then they just go right back to Henry
Yeah.
standing in his little apartment with his baby crying. And now this is where I'm going to get into one of my theories here. So we talked about the swaddle thing earlier, the little baby burrito was wrapped up, and he takes a pair of scissors, and you're watching it, you're like, he's going to stab the baby.
Yeah.
He's going to
I thought he was going to cut its fucking
That's
throat.
what I thought. That's
I
exactly what
thought
I
he was
thought.
going to cut its throat.
Yeah. Well, what he does is he like kind of cuts up the swaddle and like opens to reveal like just organs. Like
Yeah.
it
Undeveloped body, just organs hanging
Yeah.
out, dude.
Like it was like the swaddle was holding the whole thing together.
Literally. So he
And-
cut its skin, basically.
Yeah, and so what the vibe I got, and this is where like with the mental health stuff. So like the entire time there's like obviously there's depression because he's got sad boy face the entire time.
For sure.
There's, you know, like so like but like with all the hallucinations, I was catching like psychotic episodes, psychosis, like extreme psychotic breakdown.
Psychosomatic.
Yeah. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know the
Neither
word,
am I,
but
you're right.
but like extreme mental health breakdown.
For sure.
And I think what we were seeing, and that's kind of when it clicked for me, is like we're watching a normal dude in a normal relationship, but we're seeing it through his eyes. He sees everything as all weird and black and white. The awkwardness isn't really happening. It's just how he's perceiving the world. He's cutting the chicken, for example, and the chicken to him is bleeding and freaking out. Nobody else is freaking out though. So he's just like, it's like that's what he sees, but everybody else just sees normal chicken. You know, he sees the baby as this freak thing. And like, yes, Mary had some postpartum, I think, but I still think she was seeing the world through a normal lens, but he saw this weird monster. And I think that's when he murdered it.
That's your thing. You're going with that. Okay.
That's one of my theories. And I think then he then committed suicide after the fact. And that's why he's like in this, like, because like the whole in heaven, that was making me think of death. Like that was making me think, okay, she represents possibly or is associated with death. Because then he's like holding her, and it's like at the end, like he's holding the deformed face chick that's singing, like it's like all white. It's all kind of like makes you think of heaven, and you know, like kind of maybe what he's seeing the light. You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense actually.
And holding on to her, embracing her. So that was to me, that was embracing death and embracing the end. He'd killed. It was like a murder-suicide situation. I would even say
it's disturbing too.
Yeah, I would even say it's possible that he murdered Mary.
It's a potential. She never comes back.
Yeah,
she disappears because she's like, I just can't take the crying anymore, and she just fucking disappears. Which your theory is about to have some kind of correlation with mine, but I'm going in a different spectrum, man. I'm going to give you my theory right now.
All right, what you got? What you got?
What's funny is my wife searched it, and she's like, dude, all of the internet is behind that theory.
Okay.
And this is since the 70s. I think that this is a man super depressed and has schizophrenia or some kind of psychosomatic thoughts, as you agree on that.
Right.
Here's where the difference is. I think that he remember when he had the nosebleed when he found out that he had a kid.
Yeah.
He had the nosebleed, found out he had the kid. That was his anxiety. That was the trigger of his whole psychosis. What we were witnessing is a gentleman falling apart in depression because he became a new parent.
Now that's interesting. Like your theory and the internet back theory, because I didn't look any of that up.
My wife did, but yeah.
Okay, so your theory and the internet back theory seems to be that like he had postpartum.
He did, and so did she. That's why she left.
She clearly did, but but his was more extreme because he already had like some mental health things going on.
This is not just postpartum. This is massive, deep deep postpartum.
Like the worst postpartum you could have. Like
you
postpartum
literally,
to the point where it gives you almost a psychotic breakdown.
literally
Okay.
postpartum where you think your child looks like ET's baby.
Yeah. Now
And
that's
he
a good
probably
one.
yes, and that's where I'm like, the internet is absolutely right. I'm gonna lean towards that. This is a dad losing his fucking mind because he doesn't know how to take care of a kid, and at the end he does commit suicide, and that's where the correlation
Right.
lies between yours.
I think he definitely dies at the end. I think he's dead at the
For
end.
sure.
Now,
For sure.
the other theory I have. Now,
Oh,
this
boy.
is, and then this is one of the cool things about a weird ass movie like this. I think the way your wife put it was, it's like a surreal painting that you don't know what you're looking at, but you
Yes.
know that it's like
Yes.
there's something to it.
For sure, dude.
You can read it a bunch of different ways, and the way
Yeah.
I also read as a possibility is he was dead the whole time, and he was
Ooh.
in hell being tortured.
Oh boy.
And now I also, and this might be a stretch, but I'm going with this. So he's got the pocket protector and all that, right? So he's definitely
Yes.
like an intellectual. He's a nerd. I think with the nuclear explosion picture, I think he was being tortured because he helped create the nuclear weapon, the nuclear bomb. Like he's part of the Manhattan Project, and he's being tortured for eternity in all these super weird ways, like very strange ways of being tortured. What you think about that?
Very interesting.
Like he's in hell.
Dude, see, that's what I like about this film, man. That's what I actually really like about this film. We can interpret this in so many different ways. You can take it in different directions. Look at, I mean, it correlates even with the father losing his mind. Maybe he's in hell losing his mind, getting tortured. And
right.
Finally, when he finishes the torture, he gets taken to heaven. Holy shit. That might actually.
Yeah. Cause like my thought was I don't even think he went to heaven. I think like they did the weird eraser head thing. Yeah, they did that, and that, but like his head was severed, and like, but then he was back, so he's just continuously resurrected in this setting, like tortured, killed, resurrected. So I think after the part with homegirl in heaven, I think he comes back to it, and he's back, and everything's still going on.
I gotta give this movie, like I said, A+ for creativity. Sound effects are incredible, visuals. But I gotta give it, man. It's a slow burn, friends. It is not for everybody. It is not a movie that everybody is going to enjoy. Definitely do not watch it if you're having kids. If you're having some kind of,
if you're like on the fence, like don't like.
You want kids?
Yeah, if you're don't watch that until you know if you do or not.
Yeah, because you'll be no at the end of this movie. No, I don't want any kids.
Nah. Also, I don't think you should. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think you should do any psychedelics and watch this fucking movie. I feel like this would ruin your fucking mind if you did that.
I think so too. And just I want to add one more thing that we almost forgot.
Oh yeah.
There's a thing in the movie that Henry has, this little miniature thing, and he puts it in his box in his room that has doors.
Yeah.
And when that thing stood up, I mean, I really thought it was "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey."
It's true. It was like this little worm, and the worm starts dancing. It's making this little squeak sound, like
sound like seagulls, dude. Literally,
yeah, it sounded like
pitched seagulls.
Yeah, and then it was just it literally like my first thought. We were both watching it. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl.
It's fucking great, dude. It's great. It's great. It's a good movie. It's a visceral movie, bizarre,
big time.
It's a movie.
Yep, it's a movie. It's a movie. Well, if you haven't seen it, I do recommend at least one viewing. If you have seen it, I want to know what you think. Email me at weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts on the movie. Let me know if you have any theories. I'll put them on like a upcoming episode, and we can have a couple discussions about it. Maybe have a on the next Unhinged Movies that I have the Ghost on with. Maybe we can talk about some theories if you guys want to send them. But before we jump off here, Ghost, where can everybody find you?
Very easy, at the Ghost_official. That's DA Ghost_official.
All right, perfect. And as always, you know where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Dudest Weirdo. I'm thinking about getting on Twitter at some point. I probably will. I have a Twitter. I just don't do anything with it. I might. I don't know. Well, so maybe you can find me on there at some point, but not right now. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the movie. Any other weird theories you have. And Don't forget to leave us a review if you like what you're hearing. Go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. We love those. Again, email me, weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com, even if you just want to say hi.
Do it.
Don't forget to join us next week for another installment of Strangeness. And until then, keep it weird.